like off rip, dead ass.
Well,
All right.
for real, you
When
know,
do you guys
people
check
they want
this?
to be educated.
When do you guys check
All
the
right,
feed? See
I'm
if
getting
it works.
on your thing right now. All right, it says live now.
Okay.
Boom. I see you got the logo up.
Yeah.
Bam, bam. Looks
Solid.
like you got MMA good. I can see you good. There's movement.
All right.
All right, so I
Can you
think we
hear me?
good. We good.
So I'm gonna ask the people, can they hear me or see me? And is it freezing? Cause my computer's been on trash. So just it seems to be working. So
All right, the Scopio said it's good.
all right.
Oh, not to hit me back up.
Yeah.
All right. All right, cool. So now we rolling good now. So we rolling good.
Cool.
All right, let me tell.
All right. So we gonna let's do this again, fellas, shall we?
My
What's
man
going
just
on,
left.
y'all?
Let's just keep
It's your
going.
man West Colonel here. West Colonel. I'm Mr. Blank Face right there.
Yeah. And then MMA.
Oh, oh, okay, I don't know what that was about, but
All right. Welcome.
all
Welcome.
right. Yeah, that was good. Wow.
All
It's the
right.
most
So
unprofessional
today,
professional thing ever. But it's great.
yeah. So we're gonna try to see if we can disperse some solid knowledge to everyone. MMA and I have both prepared 3 questions towards Raisi that we're gonna ask him about his marketing strategy, and we're going to basically try to get some of his info and make it so that some of you guys who maybe have been trying to see some results can get some of those results that
Yeah.
he's getting, or at least up your game to a higher degree.
hmm Hopefully it'll help. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm here.
All right. So first things up, my question to you, Mr. Risey K, the Raisin Man.
Yeah.
What role does social media play in your music, and how do you leverage it to gain an edge?
Okay. So social media is really important for my music, especially now, because everything that I post online is tied to it. So if I do a YouTube post or SoundCloud post from the music, it's gonna tie up to my Twitter or my Instagram somehow or Facebook when I share it. And when other people share it, since it has my Twitter tag on there, anytime they are on Twitter and they share it, I'm gonna get a mention and my name's gonna float out there, and that brings more exposure. It's like casting a net. So I really think that social media, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything that can catch people's attentions for like 2 seconds on social media will work. So that's what I try to do. Take advantage. I put my Twitter handle on all my beats because whenever I share it or whenever anybody shares it, it's gonna link over and people are gonna find out my social networks that way. So they might follow there to get like an inside scoop or whatever what I'm doing, and it just brings more exposure. It's like casting a net. It pretty much brings more exposures, exposes more points. It can help with your market depending on how you do hashtags, stuff like that. So for me, social media is huge, but I also would not abandon your local network as well. I have a smaller local network, but people know me here in Albany, so I always, try to send out beats to people here and there. I have a small circle back in Albany and a bigger circle in New York City. So I usually like to tap in Boston. So I usually keep my local market around as well, and I don't forget them because that local support is really important as well as social media. So I'd say both
Mhm.
social media and the local market is huge for me, especially the social media though, because that's where everything is mostly done for my promotion.
Okay, let's touch on that. So I think a lot of people can they can sort of understand the importance of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they can, they'll that's where a lot of people will try to build.
Yeah.
But what about that in-person aspect? Because a person might spend a majority of their time on the social media, on Instagram, putting snippets here, pieces
Yeah.
here.
And not get.
How,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and not get that city love, not get that citywide support.
Yeah.
How do you go about establishing sort of those ties around this? Not to
Oh.
try to put two questions in one, everybody, but I
Yeah.
figure this is something that y'all need. So how do you go about getting sort of that citywide base going and growing there?
Okay. So first thing, you got to know your market. Cause me, I'm from New York. I know my New York people. Everybody in the East Coast, they'll listen to my stuff because that's my style of music. You have to know who's listening to your music, and the only way you'll figure out who's listening to your music is by actually looking at the comments or who's posting on a routine basis, and then from there you actually gotta like talk to them, like say thanks or whatever, even small things like replies or when they hit your inbox, entertain it, like be like, hey, I'll check out your work, or you know, it's like I'll check out your music, or yeah, we might be able to work on something, and then you go forth with it. The more people that you can be personal with on social media, the more those people are gonna share. They'll be like, yo, I know Raisi K, or I know so and so, he's actually a cool dude, and then more people will share. And if you have the cool sound or cool visuals to back it up, at the end of the day, people are going to share more because not only you have good content, but you're personable. Now, in terms of me being local, I hit these guys up. I see them every week, so we keep in contact. We work on music. I help them. I promote them. Once in a while, share some work with them. You just have to establish a personal, almost a personal relationship with the people who like vibe with you. Because if you post out there and then you just post and nobody knows your face or nobody knows your personality, then you're just another dude posting beats. No matter how fire your beats are, people aren't even gonna like vibe with you. They might just listen and they might get the plays, but it's really the personal connections that get you further. Like the only reason why I get placements either there or business opportunities is because I actually talk to the people who hit me up like an inbox, and I'm like, yeah, I see if you're for real or if you're not. You can filter people out, but you have to talk with them at the end of the day to see, because you never know who you come across. Like for instance, I know guys in the community right now. Recently, they've been getting play from Shannon Briggs. How I got in contact with Shannon Briggs was that one of my homies tagged me in a video on Instagram, and he was like, "Yo, Shannon the Cannon Briggs. He's a professional boxer, heavyweight professional boxer.
Hmm.
He's more notable in the '90s, but he's still out there. He's a big figure social media wise. So somebody told me that he played one of my beats on Instagram. So what I did was that I DM'd him on Instagram. And I was like, yo, thanks for playing my beat, just something real quick. And he flipped out. He was like, oh man, you're the guy, you're the Raisin man, blah, 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 let's work. So we got an email connect and all that. And then I was like, yo, there's other people, other producers I know who have fire, like better than me, I think, in my opinion. So I was like, yo, hit up so and so, and I just made a list of names on the email. Little like personable stuff like that. Little did he know, now he's listening to the work. He's playing the work on, with his videos. That's how things work. Like if you're personable and get a chance to actually contact the people who contact you, or like talk to the people who contact you, you're gonna get play like in a bigger scale. And you just have to be patient and consistent, that you have dope content and you're personable, that you're not bougie or Hollywood to anybody, and things will like build up over time. Think opportunities will pop up, you won't even know where it came from, just because people share. Like you don't. Social media is powerful. Like people take the time of day to share your work, and that's important. So I think so. Basically, to crunch that down, be personable with the people who hit you up. Know your market in the first place. know who's listening to your music, and hit them up and follow up, see who's cool, who's not, all that stuff, and just be consistent with your work, and things will actually build up. Like, I'll just tell you. So that's
Nice,
what I would
nice.
say. I don't know if that's
And
confusing.
and yeah, yeah, no, I think that right there gave a lot of really solid, like some really solid
Yeah,
pieces. Because I know of a lot of producers, like I know a lot of producers who don't even take the time to be like, "Yo, what's up? My name is XYZ." They don't even take the
yeah.
time to really get to know the
I'm a
person.
matter of
They just
fact. Let
shoot
me
out a
tell you
bang.
how I got the my pieces hitting placement a record in the first place. That's been on the radio. It's got mad play. So I was on SoundCloud and I posted this beat maybe months ago, and um, Jacquay hits me up on SoundCloud. He gives me an inbox message. He's like, "Yo, I got an idea. I got a vision for this. Let's work." He's like, "I just need the wave file for the pieces hitting instrumental." So I was like, "All right, let me send it in." I sent it in on a Gmail, not suspecting anything that could pop off out of it. Just sent it in. He sent me a rough mix of the song, literally that night. So I sent it in the afternoon. That night he already recorded it. He was with Fred the Godson. I don't know if you guys know the rapper Fred the Godson, but he's pretty
Right.
famous. He's his hype man, and he works for Diddy. Like Jacquay he was on the street team for Diddy, for Bad Boy. So I had no idea about this. I just sent him the beat. Little did he know he sent me the song back. And then 2 days later, his engineer, I sent him the track outs. 2 days later, they made the song. And then he said, I'm just going to plug every DJ I know that he's actually talked with and established a personal relationship with, which includes DJ K Slay, DJ Self, DJ Clue, whole bunch of guys back in the city, in Hot 97, Power 105, 1045, people on Shade 45, on Sirius XM. So we just got that pushing all because of connects that we made off a personal connection, a personal like interaction. And little didn't know it was on Shade 45 first, the record. Then it ended up on Hot 97. Then it ended up on Power 105. And then all the satellite, all the other local stations around in the East Coast picked it up. Now then the South picked it up. So it was all organic. And that all started literally off of a message on SoundCloud, if you think about it. That all started off a message on SoundCloud. And I just so happened to pick it up and say, hey, let's work. And now Jacquay, he's really good with the marketing too, because now he pivoted himself, and now he's got a record with Papoose and Fat Joe less than a year later. Like,
And
that's
that
how
is
it
a huge
works.
move right there.
That is
Paramount.
nice
Yeah.
right there, boy. I'm telling you.
So
What?
it can be done. It's just how you pivot. Basically, you got to be more personable with people and give them a chance. Like, I know you might get a lot of messages. I get a lot of messages. I'm like, dude, I don't want to go through them, but to go through it and like talk to the people, you never know. There's so much talent out there, and you don't know who people know. This whole degrees of separation thing is real. Like, people would know people that you wouldn't suspect. So just keep
Hmm.
doing that. So that's just a testimony right there. Like, that works.
Certainly. And there's something that I do want to touch on involving
Uh,
that there, but I do want to let MMA get
can the
his
people
question in.
can the people
I know
see
how
me?
to.
I don't know.
Um, I can't really tell here because it looks like the chat is frozen, and then the video has been on
Yeah,
MMA.
yeah. It's just my computers. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm using. Beaster, that's what I'm using. Like, come on now. Okay. It says it's going. But yeah, you can keep going.
Okay,
Could they at
now,
least hear us
yeah,
though?
the visuals now, the visuals are good. They're moving with
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so we can continue on. All right, so MMA, go ahead and
All right.
present Mr. Raisi K with your
My
question.
my question
Okay.
is okay. All right, man. So I see you around social media, and
Okay,
I
cool.
like the way how you you'll be like the next hottest or dumbest trend that's popping around, or maybe a fad,
Mm-hmm.
and you find a way to like incorporate a beat for that fad or trend. How do you do that? And then bam, it just blows up.
Uh,
I want to know
it's
how
pretty
that gets
easy.
popped.
You gotta strike when it's while it's hot. You know, like
The Iron Heart. Yeah.
yeah, you gotta strike the iron while it's hot. But I don't like to see. Here's the thing. There's a thing like hopping on trends. You gotta know what the wave is, but I don't like to hop on really like memes and stuff like that. I don't really
Yeah.
personally. I don't like doing it.
Mm.
I understand why you would do it, but from what I've seen and clearly from what I've seen, especially for producers, it's not really about people when they see the memes and stuff. People don't really, except for like Sway the Remix guy, which I don't know how he did it. You should probably ask
Mm.
him. But like, people don't care about the producers for these memes and all that stuff. If you make a beat off of it, they really care about the person in the face of the meme. So,
Right.
like for instance, the black, the black magic Harry Potter thing. My homie Young Mavu, rap from Belgium, rapped over it. He's might be getting signed or something. I don't know. He's mad famous now in Europe. But I made the beat, and I made it like 3 years ago. Um, I finally got the credit once I told people like spread my word out and all that. But that's not usually with
Yeah.
memes. It's like I'm lucky that they even like acknowledge that in the first place, because with memes they don't really like acknowledge the producer. But what you can do to stay relevant is just make music to your style or do cinematography to your style, but incorporate certain parts that's part of the wave, like that, to keep stay relevant, so people will vibe with it, because people love to be on trends. If you really like counterculture against the trend, you're not gonna get much play. That's just the truth of it. Like if
Do
you do
you ever
something,
do you ever like contact those people up? Like
yeah,
I was on Instagram the other day, like
uh-huh,
some little kid was like, you know how you like throw a bike and it be ghost riding for a minute?
yeah,
The Harry Potter beat was in the background. So I'm like, how did they get this? And then I go on Vine later on, and
mm-hmm,
some dude was dancing to the Koopa Troopa joint, and I was like, yo, like
yeah.
how many connects this man
These guys
has,
just
boy?
That's just because I've been.
Yeah.
That's really because I've been consistently posting, my beats. So I got a whole thing of beats on YouTube, and that's a lot of, as I said, it's a lot of material on the internet, and people will be
Mhm.
finding the stuff if you. And good thing my beats are, they're cool, like they're cool to listen to. So people are just catching on to this wave of like sampling video games and pop culture and stuff. So
Wow,
Now,
wow,
that's
wow.
I got a question as far as beat recognition, right? Because I'm
yeah,
sure a lot of people they have beats that might get some play, but
man.
people,
This thing keeps
they won't go.
freezing. Yeah.
Yeah, people are saying that the visual is freezing, but I'm listening on it, and it seems like the audio is going. So
Yeah,
even though it's freezing visually, the audio is going. So I think it's okay.
I'm just gonna make it like
Um,
super slow. All right.
kind of to piggyback back off of MMA's question, how did you go about getting it to where people were recognizing that it was you? Was it
Well, I
because
mean,
you were consistently posting it, or was it that you had fans that were like, "Hey, y'all need to give credit to this man"? Like, what do you think it is that allowed you to get your recognition for it?
um, what was that? Wait, can you say it again? Like, what do you think was the reason why? I think it's because people have heard the beat. People from all over the place have heard that beat. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, "Oh man, Raisi didn't get credited." So people were like, "Oh, credit Raisi or whatever." And then I was like, once I figured it all out, I was like, "Yeah." I went on Twitter, I was like, "Yeah, if you could tell people, I made the beat, that'd be cool." And then people just and hopped on. They kept sharing, posting on Instagram, specifically with the Black Magic video. Like they were saying, "Yo, this is produced by Raisi, produced by Raisi." Then all of a sudden, Daquan the Instagram guy with like 7 million followers finally credited me, and then WorldStar credited me and Mavu. So that's how it took off, really, for me.
So if a person, let's say a person, that's smaller than you, right?
Yeah.
They're a person, they've been in it for like a year.
Uh huh.
They go and they make a fire beat, and somebody uses it.
Yeah.
Would you say, me kind of paraphrasing, well, just make sure that you have your circle of people, kind of your community of people that they get in contact with the people who used it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that that they're telling people, hey, this is XYZ who did this. This is XYZ that did this. Not
No, I
harassing
don't
the
even have a
person.
team. Like, I don't even have a team to tell them to. I don't have a specific team to tell people that if they use my beat, go for it. I literally just go on my own on social media and just tell. I post and say like, "Yo, so and so, whatever it is that you've heard is produced by me." Or if somebody uses it, I just share it and say produced by me by myself, and then people will share off that. But that's just because I have a rapport with so many people over the years that I can do that. It's not That's something you have to build over like several years, like, and that's from
Hmm.
talking to people. That's where I go back down to being establishing personal connects with people,
Right.
and that's how you can get things done because you're cool with them. And
So
then if you do a favor for somebody, they do a favor for you. So that's off the strength. Yeah.
okay. So you personally make it a point to go at it yourself and say, hey, this is XYZ that I made, XYZ, and people just see it, and then they if they're interested enough, they just kind of back you up,
Yeah.
and then that's how it gets going. So this kind of really relates more to if you're a person who does really really well with your beat making abilities, but
Mm-hmm.
you're like a hermit, like you just post your music
This ain't gonna
but
work.
that's it.
Yeah.
When
Unless you
people
like
will
just
go
make.
and they're taking your music, it's
That's
going to be
it.
really really hard for you to get the acknowledgement because
They don't know who
you're
you
not
are.
gonna. Yeah.
Exactly. They
So
just like they'll just be like the beat's hot. Okay, that's it. They don't care who is responsible. Even with me, sometimes they'll take the beat just because the beat's hot, but they don't care. They're just like a lot of these guys on Vine and all that stuff. They care about themselves and how I can get my views. It's not about who. It's like who I'm working with. It's more like how I can get mine, and that's how it is in social media. Like it's cutthroat in the industry. It's cutthroat like that too. It's like how I can get my figures, my numbers, and who I could
mhm.
use to do that. My thing's different because I actually like to credit, people who I'm involved with because
Right.
it's more organic and it's just the ethical thing to do, and you can still get, notoriety wherever you want if you credit so and so. But you have to, but that's off of, who you know and people that you've established relationships with there. You can work together and like you basically form a team like by right as itself. The more people you contact and work with, that's the more people on your team that will help you like long term if you maintain a relationship, stuff like that. That's how I think.
Yeah.
If that
So
makes sense.
so okay. So that kind of goes perfectly into what my next question is to you is a lot of people might spend just days and hours on their craft, making a
Mm-hmm.
beat, doing research, staying on top of the trend, and they're doing this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then the amount of marketing and the amount and people think marketing is just contacting different companies, but they don't know that marketing is the actual interpersonal relationships that you have
It
with the
involves a
people who
lot of
are
stuff.
there.
Yeah, it involves a lot of stuff. It involves who you know. It involves your material. Because if you have whack stuff, think about it. It's not even. You gotta know what people are interested in. Like honestly, people aren't interested in lyric nowadays in like hip hop. People aren't really interested in the lyrical miracle guy like that. They're really not. Like it's not. They want something they can vibe to, something they can party to, something that can make them feel good. when somebody hears somebody who's got the lyrical prowess, I like that stuff personally. A lot of people
Right.
don't care for it. A large majority of people don't care for it because it has to make them think. They want stuff that they don't want to think. So you have to know what the majority of people want. Sadly, it might not be something you prefer. Like the trap sound, for instance. I like trap, but I'm not the biggest, it's not the hugest trap fan. Like, I like the East Coast stuff. That's the stuff I love. But I make trap stuff a lot because that's the wave. Like, that's what's going to put my name out there. You just got to play the game. Like, you have to know what people
Right.
are looking for. People aren't looking for that super. That's why all the basic songs get, like, blow up, for real. If you have a basic song and then you have a catchy visual, like to get your attention for a few minutes and then you can move on,
Right.
that's what
It's
anybody's gonna eat up.
it's it's digestibility even
Yeah,
because it's like if you have a freaking piece of steak and the steak is juicy as hell.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a juicy steak with high quality, properties to it. But
hmm,
if a person can get a burger and they know that that burger is going to be in real quick and they can get it down in 2 minutes versus that steak, they got to spend 20
yeah.
minutes on that steak.
Like what
They
I,
might just go with the burger.
yeah. Well, I'm saying like get something that gets catchy. Like for marketing, you want to get stuff. Marketing is all about catching attention. When you market, you're getting a market. You're establishing a market, or you're expanding a market. And part of getting something, getting people to be interested in you, is to have something that's catchy. Either either it's crazy visuals on a video, like on a video for a song, or it's just a song that's outlandish. Like, wow, what are you talking about? That's crazy. And then you share it. Like, do you hear this? This guy's crazy. You already got your attention though, and that's the good publicity or bad publicity. It's good publicity. Like any publicity is good because it gets your attention. You're more than likely gonna share it, and it gets you hooked. Then you want to see what else this guy's about. That's where you can throw in stuff you like. Like for me, I just throw in like a catchy song or something. If I wanted to make an album that was deep and make a catchy song that's like the least deepest song ever, people are gonna get the attention because they don't want to think. Like they don't. They want something that like Goldfish. Like they want something quick. I'm gonna check it out. Oh,
Hmm.
let me see what his project's about. Oh, this is crazy. Then if people like what they see or hear afterwards, that's it. That's your market, and then you could cater to that market at the same time you make what you want to make. So you have to satisfy yourself and the people who mess with you. So it's all a game, like really. Marketing's
Right.
about relevance and how you can get people's attention at a certain period of time. Like you can have
Hmm.
something that's hot, but if even something as trivial as your album artwork or your single artwork, people pay money. People in the industry pay money for that for a reason. That's to get attention. Like, whoa, this cover is crazy. Like I've never seen something like it. Let me check it out. They've probably never heard of you in their life. They might never like your music, but that one time where they're like, "Yo, let me check that out." That's it. You got them. So you just have to think about that, like certain stuff that gets attention quick, fast, and then if you have good content, that's when people are gonna stay and want more. And if you're consistent, that's your market, and you just cater to that. At the same time, you experiment because you have that freedom to do that. Because those guys who were there from the jump, your core market, they're always gonna be there. Like they're as long as you
Hmm.
don't completely go 180 on them, they'll always be there.
Now, so here's a question with that, right?
Hmm.
So there's all those things to consider. So what is the ratio to content creation and then marketing as far as interpersonal relationship wise actually engaging your people? What is that sort of ratio? Because the person who spends hours and days working on their content, they might have a ratio of 90% work, 10% promotion and networking.
Hmm.
So, and obviously, you're not going to get a lot of play off of that because you're not engaging nearly enough people to be able to grow. I saw something, in fact, that they had said that they used to spend 80% of their time doing content creation and 20% of their time
Mm-hmm.
marketing, and their business was going nowhere. Their
Mm-hmm.
brand wasn't growing whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
They flipped it and they did 20% content creation and 80% marketing,
And it's going places.
and that, and it's going places. So what is your personal ratio that you feel is so vital to actually start making moves and getting notices?
Well, you gotta. I think it's gotta be. I can't put a fixed number on it, but it's gotta be closer to 50-50. And more so the marketing, because but at the same time don't abandon the creativity, because what sets you apart between a person who's just a fad and a person who's consistently relevant is that creative content. Like every time they could put something nobody's ever heard before, that just keeps you in the game. You're relevant, but at the same time you have to market it heavy. And my difference with the way I market is I can market through by communication personally. I mean, I don't have all that money, to throw. It's either you have the money to actually get those connects, because it's not free. They're either paying a price to talking to person and trying to establish a
Right.
relationship, or you paying that dough, like flat out. People pay money for the videos. If you were cool with a cinematographer and you sent them beats for their homies or something, that cinematographer might get you a video off the strength one time, and it might just take one time to get a free video. You make something crazy, and there it is. Your name's made. So you never know. I think you can't abandon your creative content. That's what makes you you, and you always have to experiment and always try to make something that no one has made before. Because there's literally millions of artists out. Every single week or day, I'll see that sponsored on Facebook of this new artist I've never heard of in my life. And I'll check it out, and they can all sound the same. And most of the time, they all sound the same. Like, it all depends. At that point, it's all about your marketing that sets you
Yep.
apart. Like, how do you set your...
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all about... So you have to have a healthy balance. I don't think you should all do just marketing and have trash, because then you won't be relevant for a long time. But at the same time, you can't just be like, oh, let me just focus on what's the new sound and not broadcast that new sound. You have to put that out there, because you're putting out art, unless it's for yourself, it's just a hobby. You're putting out art for people to hear and digest. So you have to find a 50-50, around there. I think around 50-50 or even more, give or take, depending on your situation. If you have an established base, then you can chill on the marketing and just focus on your creative aspect, and then go heavy on the marketing once you feel ready to put it out there. It shifts. Like, I think when you're good, like if I'm good with my numbers and stuff like that, I'll just try to make something that nobody made before, flip something almost flipped before, and I experiment. A lot of beats I haven't even dropped. I have a whole bunch of them that I haven't even dropped. It's just stuff I work on. But if I feel it's the right time to drop it, then I'll do it. And that's when I push the marketing aspect. It's like a car.
Right. So
It's like a
so
yeah. It's like a
go
car.
ahead.
Like if you're driving, you just might let it cruise, because you don't have to do too much muscle and marketing. But then once you get a little slow, then you push it on the marketing. You're good. That's pretty much
Hmm.
how I see it. So
Right. Okay. And that pretty much handles my question. MMA, I believe the
Mm.
floor is now yours.
Yeah, it is. All right, hold on.
yeah,
All right.
you guys, is it
Time.
working?
Oh.
Like, I'm just getting worried out here. You guys can hear me?
It looks good.
Okay.
I've got you on the other headphone here, and everything's playing through. We're up to date.
All right, cool.
Um, People are commenting, and it looks like it's coming through decently.
Yeah. Okay.
So everything looks like it's running smooth right now.
Solid. Okay.
All right. Now, how do you
Yeah.
go about like promoting your own content? Do you have people that like a street team or somebody like that's helping you socially promote, or You're just
See,
one man. You're one man banding everything. Your own brand and just
yeah,
pushing it out
I
yourself.
can't say I'm one man, but sort of. This is how it is. I don't have an official street team. I don't have an
Mhm.
official one. You could call it an unofficial one. I don't have a set of people who I'm like, go put my stuff out. It's literally day by day. I put content out, people respond to it, and then I'll either talk with them or whatever, or say thanks and stuff. Day by day, it's just like people hit me up, they inbox me, they ask about my intake on their songs or intake on their beats or advice on stuff. It's just me being on the internet talking is pretty much
Mhm.
my way of promotion. Because anything I do or post, if I have an opinion, even on politics, on music, on anything unrelated to my beats, it's still promotion for my beats because people know I make beats and I put myself out there. Like promote producers have a harder time putting their face out, like putting their face out there. If you notice like who's the famous
Yeah.
producers, like you wouldn't really know. You'd recognize them, but a lot of producers you wouldn't even realize like you're their face, but they're constantly on social media and they're constantly with their the homies that are famous. So through them, they get their promotion. Me, how I do it is just day by day. I check my messages. I share music that I have that's new once in a while. I go through emails a lot now because A&Rs and people hit me up through email. So I'll just send them like a few beats or somebody's A&R
Mhm.
or their manager will hit me up and be like, "Yo, you got a couple beats we could check out. We're going to the studio." So I just send a couple beats here and there and go
Mhm.
through there through the email or you know put
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
do anything.
Like different producers and artists. They'll be
Yeah.
like, I'm going to the studio, hear my
Mhm.
track. Um, in that studio though, I know you don't know off the top of your brain who's in that studio, but I'm
Mhm.
saying professional wise, do you do they say that sometimes because they think like there's going to be an A&R watching or some manager and damn there might be a shot or are they just looking out like,
Nah, I mean,
when they hit you up with that.
for me, it's cool to see. It's for me especially. It's cool that people I grew up listening to are like starting to
Mhm.
hit me up now. Like it's really cool. Their management are hitting me up now. Like I listen to them. So like as a fan, I would send some stuff just to see if they vibe with it. And
Mhm.
you never know. Like when they're in the studio, like you never know. You never know who's gonna be in there. It could be someone crazy. Like I remember Jacquay told me to send beats in the studio, and I was like, all right, cool. And then went through it. They might never use it, but they might use it like 2 years later. Who knows? But
Mhm.
I remember one time I sent him beats, his A&R beats, and Jacquay was in there. He said Jacquay, Fred the Godson, Uncle Murder, um, Uncle Murder. He said somebody else, I think Mano, and like two other industry cats came through in and out in the video. Was just hearing my beats. They were just playing what I sent them. I sent them like 10, 15, and they were just going through it. And these guys were hearing my beats. Now they're like, "Yo, who made these joints?" So they put my name out there. Like, yeah, Raisi K put this out there. They might not. These artists might not follow me. They're not contact me at all. They have management who does that. But if the artists themselves, you never know. The artists themselves can hear it and they'll tell their manager, "Yo, like get this guy's contact, stuff like that." Because artists are really busy. They have to obligations like photo ops and concerts, shows. So they can't.
Yeah.
They don't have that time to actually hit the producer up unless they're like fiending for a specific song or beat where they'll hit you up ASAP and find you.
Gotcha.
But most guys, it's still management and A&Rs where
Mhm.
probably get placements. I don't even know that answer the question at all, but like
Mhm.
that's about it. I don't really have a street team, really. I just have people that I connect with and I keep in touch with. And
So
those
you
guys
basically
will
have
put
a
my name out there and I'll put their name out there in exchange. And it's just off
so you,
love, for real.
yeah you just got You got a loyal fan
Yeah,
base. Basically, what
yeah,
you're
that's
saying.
pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Hmm.
There was a question posed by someone, and I thought it was a pretty good one. And this might be something that a lot of producers struggle with. Hell, you probably still deal with this yourself, Risey.
Yeah.
Someone said, "How about working?" Auntie Matic said, "How
Oh,
about working with artists?
the homie.
What's the deal breaker on who gets
Let's get
green
real.
light and who gets turned away?"
Um, seriously, I mean, okay, the green light is the music itself. Like, if they share the music and it's trash, then I'm probably not gonna want to work with you. But
Mm,
and it's more like the music or the attitude, music and the attitude. If someone comes to you and like I'm the hottest thing coming out, yo, we should work, and you send me a beat and it's or a song and it's just trash, I'm not gonna want to work with you. If somebody comes through on the humble saying, yo, man, I've just been making music, I just want to get your opinion on it, I'll be like, cool. It might not be the most convenient time there, but I'll be like, cool, I'll check it out. If it's fire, then I'm probably gonna want to work with you because you have talent, and I'll check like your follower count and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh man, this guy has amazing talent, but is not being seen. Then I'm gonna be more inclined to work with that person. It just depends, but mostly I look at the music. Like, is the talent there? And then second, the person's demeanor. Like, if they're like legitimate about it, if they're hungry to actually work, or you know, if they're just like humble or they're just cocky or whatnot. So it's mostly them, but mostly hearing the music. Like, I can't just go off somebody's praisal of themselves when I don't hear what they've made. Like, that's why I always
exactly.
ask, like, if you have a SoundCloud or YouTube or any links I could check, like a portfolio.
Mm,
It's like when a business, when a company, you want to get a job at a company. I'm not saying like I'm like a company, but when like a job wants to get a company, but you don't have a resume or anything to show your experience, then a producer won't want to work with
so,
you. I know a lot of producers just want the bread. Well, for me, I'm
mm,
just saying how I want it. But if you want to get like an industry producer, you better have bread ready. And if
mm,
that's just the way it is, like if you want to get a Metro Boomin or somebody who's famous, like
mm,
on production, unless you know a friend who's really close to them, you might have to get some bread ready. That's how they like filter it out. And then if
mm,
you might have to take that, it's like a cost. Like you might have to pay half a grand for a beat, or even a grand for a beat for that man. It's crazy, right? But
ooh,
then if that guy
Hmm.
hears your song and sees your song's a hit or something, or if it's catching traction, they're gonna want to work with you because that's money on the table. That's an investment.
mm,
So, but for me, how I see it, since I'm not the man with all the bread and stuff like that, I'm not. You gotta like pay me a grand for a beat, not like that. So I just
Right.
check and see if you got good music, and if you do, I'm more inclined to work with you. Or if I go on SoundCloud and I hear some cool stuff, I'll just hit them up and be like, "Yo, you want to work?" And if they don't have to. If they do, that's it. So
that's good
That's
enough.
cool. So that's cool that you look at it based on merit. You don't necessarily look at it based on just superficial things, but you actually look at the work and the quality that they have.
hmm
Because I know a lot of people that would go and they'll just look at numbers. They'll be like, nope, nope, nope.
nah, don't even
Oh,
go by
thirty
numbers.
thousand. Ooh,
Don't even go by
Yeah,
numbers,
I see
because
that a lot.
you don't go by
Like,
numbers, man. Ever.
oh, he got 100. He like
You
one of
don't
the
go by
best
numbers
rapper
ever. You
alive,
gotta go
but he got
by.
like
You gotta go
100
by.
followers.
Yeah, you gotta go by the music itself. It's not about the numbers. People buy their views and numbers. You can't trust numbers. They say numbers never lie. Like, numbers lie on SoundCloud and other
numbers
sites.
Oh,
like crazy.
They
yeah,
lie.
on Twitter, all that. No pay
They
lie.
lie. People pay for them. Just
Yeah.
and
They
people, it
absolutely
used to
do.
work. Like, people would just look at you because they see a video has a million views when it was paid for. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like
real.
Chief Keef and all them guys. That's how they did it. They paid. That's what I've heard. They paid to get the views. People are like, oh snap, this is crazy. But this stuff was catchy, so then they actually got them the views that they wanted. But I'm
Mm,
saying don't go by the numbers because they're fake. Go by the content because that's what you can't fake that.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
I heard
Yeah,
that. Man,
All right.
I heard all I had to hear right there. My question's up, man.
yeah.
All right. So I got my
Yeah.
next one for you, Rising, and this one's kind of getting a little bit more general, talking about what's going on with us in the world and
Mhm.
how it relates to us. So my next question to you, Rising, is
Mhm.
how do you feel the state of our government,
Mhm.
nation, and our president will affect your and others musicians' ability to increase the stature and prestige of your brand?
Huh. It ain't gonna stop me. I'll say that off off rip. For me personally, unless you ban the internet or ban any methods of communicating your art, it's not gonna stop me at all. Cause at this point, I'm not looking back. Like Trump or whoever, the government can do all they want to stifle the arts or whatever they want to do. It's not gonna stop me. I already got a team of people or cool people that I'm cool with that are about this money. They're trying to make good music, and as long as I can connect with them, we're gonna put the stuff out. It's like they're not gonna shut down the radio. I don't think they're gonna shut down the radio or these art channels, that people put in entertainment for. Hollywood and the music industry is strong. Like music is one of the strongest weapons in the world, and that's a fact. Like people, that's an influence. So if people can see that you're influencing people, they're not gonna stop you from doing that. They're actually gonna try and work with you. Like it's some inside stuff, but I don't think the government or the political atmosphere is gonna stop me from making music, making beats. Like, first of all, the government probably isn't interested in what I'm doing yet. And second, even if they were, that's a First Amendment. That's a First Amendment issue you have right there. So we have to see if it's even constitutional to even stop people's, art shine and stuff like that. You're talking about free speech. Like it's free expression, free speech. That's what music and art and cinema and all that stuff is. So they can do what they want, man.
Hmm.
Yeah. But nah,
Hmm.
for me,
Okay.
it's not gonna stop me. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're not worried about it at the moment, I can see that. When as long as you're moving in the shadows, kind of being stealthy with it. I do
Yeah.
know some musical figures that become targeted. Um, we all obviously know the most infamous two
Yeah.
who got targeted
Yeah.
specifically because of music, the mobilization that they had going on, and the
Mhm.
messages that they felt. We know the effects of people like NWA and what they had, and how they
Yeah.
kind of changed the atmosphere of things. So I
Mhm.
guess as long as your music, at least at this stage, heck, you could probably do whatever you want with music at this stage, as long as
Yeah.
it's not getting across to hundreds of thousands, reaching into the millions.
Mhm.
And then even once you do start to get to that, only when you start talking about things with the political motivation behind them would it
Yeah.
even be
These
something
guys
to
are these
worry
guys are
about.
chicken. I know these industry guys. They're chicken to talk about political, situations because their money is tied to what they do and those things. So if they talk against the interest of the people who are cutting them the check, then that's a supply that they might lose. So a lot of these guys are quiet, which I'm saying, which tell you, moving independent is the way to go, and we have the ways to do it. You just have to pivot a certain way. Like you have to have the merch and the cool vibe and the aesthetic and the cool sound or visuals to move independently. And that's if you're independent as an artist and doing fine, you've already made it. Doesn't matter how much. If you don't have to make millions of dollars, you can make several thousands of dollars and have a second job doing normal. normal work. If you're an independent artist, you have that freedom to say whatever you want and however you want, because that your fan base as an independent artist is always going to be there, and they're always going to put money in your pockets because they love the work that you do. It's an exchange. Like, they pay you and you provide the good content. So anything else after that is gravy. Whereas somebody who's signed, like, yeah, they got to be quiet, because the person who signed you might be a staunch Trump supporter or might support crazy things. Like, who knows what they're talking about. I won't talk about Illuminati and all that stuff like that, but you can't rule that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't rule out what people believe and people in high power to believe. So that's why you won't see a major rapper, a major rock star, pop artist go crazy, about politics or certain things that are against who signed them. And you got to be cognizant of the fact that, I don't know if it's real or not, but it's weird that artists who were signed that finally acquire their rights, something bad always happens to them. So that's what worries me the most. Like, think about
Right.
it. Prince, Michael Jackson, and it always happens to be freak accidents, stuff like that. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
it's a conspiracy thing. I don't know if it's just coincidence. But I always know that all the artists that end up getting their rights back who were signed, crazy stuff happens to them all the time. And it's just weird. So what I'm thinking is just go independent if you can. Be like, go the Tech Nine route and have that system, and flourish by yourself. Get a bigger check or cut and deal with whatever comes with that, because at least you don't have your free expression or free speech stifled. At least you can do what you want to do and do it at your own terms. So that's my goal, to prosper as a producer independently. And I might do, if they put a deal or something like that for me for a huge record label, it's a distribution deal. If the business is right, maybe I'll do it. But it's not like the end game. You have to move. It's all about what your next move is. Like, if you presented an opportunity, you have to think how you're gonna maneuver with that opportunity, like 2 steps ahead. Like, if like when I had the pieces hitting, once I figured out it was a hit, and I already figured out who can I contact, to work on music, and who can I share music with, because I already know people are gonna hit me up about making beats. Sure enough, it happened, and you just got to pivot. So I'm going on a tangent, but basically, yeah, in terms of the independent, I'd say going independent will save you so much trouble from all this, political and social outside
Right,
pressures.
it definitely does do a lot to allow you to be able to kind of have your own stance, because like you said, the people who are signed to those labels, they don't get to be able to speak out a lot if it goes against something that their label wants to seem like they're neutral on.
Mm-hmm.
Like Beyonce going and doing a performance that got all kinds of backlash from all kinds of people, but
Mm-hmm.
she could do it because Jay-Z's down with it,
Yeah.
and the only person she has to answer to is her
Hove.
husband.
Yeah.
For real.
That's why people don't like Hove, but he's one of the goats, because the way he's moving business, like, he's given a little bit of leeway on how things work. He's not signed. I don't think he's signed over somebody else. Yeah, he could be weirdo. He could be a weirdo. I don't know. But how I've seen that all the artists under him for some reason they're good to go. Like, they could be crazy and they're still gonna be fine, because he understands, like, they're gonna make money at the end of the day, and he gets a cut off of that, off management, off publishing, of everything these guys do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And all right. Thank you for handling that question so well. I know
Mm-hmm.
that might have been a question that some people might have found weird, might have found it to be kind of random. But I do think that at a certain point, artists, whether producer, rapper, singer,
Hmm.
um, you see a lot of people say, oh well, why aren't people in the black community, or why aren't figures that are prominent, that have a prominent name, why don't they speak on it?
Yeah.
And I did feel like it was important to kind of cover sort of where you would be on that,
Yeah.
and sort of be a person that shines some knowledge on what it is to have your own voice
I'm not afraid to
versus.
speak. I'm not afraid to speak whatsoever. I'll speak my mind. Like, I'm not afraid of that because your speech and your expression and your thoughts is something that no one can take from you, no matter how the laws are set up, however it is. That's something. That's a right. That's a human right. So what you say might have consequences, but you can't be stifled. You can't be stifled from it. I'll say whatever I want. I'm not tied to anybody. I don't plan to be tied to anyone. So I will say how I feel. That's how I feel. If they're gonna try and pressure me to do otherwise, well, so be it. That's crazy. It's crazy talk, but like, that's how I feel. You know, maybe because I'm an artist, but
Yeah,
that's how I feel. And I know a
yeah.
lot of you guys on a feed or something. This is probably like unrelated, but I'm trying to think of something which I could tell the guys right now are listening what they can do to get, they want the immediate results. I'm not saying immediate results, but what you can do is a start. Um, what you can do as a start right now is try and figure out what try and figure out what haven't people done before, or try and make some of the stuff. Try and, if you do make beats or you sing, try to do something different. Like, try and do something that's different at the same time part of the wave. I don't know how to explain it, but something that people haven't heard before, but it relates to what's mainstream. And try and tag that with either a cool visual, like cool like music video, or sometimes you might have to do a stunt here and there. People do like beef stunts all the time in the internet just to get attention. Like, try and do something to get attention, and try and present something that's just like, wow, I've never heard this in my life. I've never seen this in my life. Something provocative. It takes time, but do that. And if you get any bait or the feedback off of what you just did, talk to the people and see what people think about what you post. Like, how do people feel about your post? How do people feel about your work overall? Like, gauge, or even better yet, go on your SoundCloud or on your YouTube, check your stats and check who's actually commenting on your songs. Like, go through like your last 10 songs or your last 5-10 songs, see who's actually talking to you on a routine basis, and just hit them up and say like, what's good, bro, thanks for listening to my work. You know, and just check that out. If they hit you back up, they're probably going to tell you, well, I'm a big fan of your work, man, you've been listening to you for years. And they just establish a connection that way, because if they feel more personal towards you, everybody wants to be cool at doing what they're doing. They want to look cool doing it. Like, if someone shares my music, they'll be like, "Yo, I know Raisi K. He's that dude. We're cool. So check his music out." And if your music is fire, more people are gonna check it out, and they'll be like, "Oh man, my friend knows this guy. Check this guy out." And then people are just gonna say that. If people feel like they're closer connected to you than it really is, then people are really gonna vibe with you. So what people can do right now, literally go through your SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you have social media, and see who actually like vibes and interacts with you, and see what their
Hmm.
opinion is on your work, and see if there's any suggestions. Like, get the crowd feedback. That's your market, and
I'm really
work
glad you
upon it.
touched on that, because I know a lot of people, and this is something that people maybe just started, maybe even mid-tier people, maybe they've even started to get some buzz, is they focus so much on the attention aspect of it,
Yeah,
and just doing something. But what they don't do is they don't look back and they don't go, Okay, well, let's see. My people from Australia. I got
Yeah.
60% of my plays in Australia, 24% of my plays in America, 15% of my plays in Japan.
Hmm.
Let the next thing that I do
And
be a
here's another
kangaroo
thing
jack
too.
sample type of
Here's
thing.
another thing too. I'm telling you stuff that's harder to do, but it works off long term. Cause all these guys making these videos of songs that are just catchy. I mean, they're cool. They're cool for like a year or two, and then they fade off. Who talks about OG Mako anymore? Even though he's out there, he's known. People don't talk about him anymore. Like this Keith Ape guy who copied his song. I mean, they know he's around, but people don't really talk about him. You can just go down the list of like hip craze. Even the PSY guy with the Gangnam Style, that was like a worldwide craze. No one talks about him anymore.
Hmm.
Like they just come and go.
Right.
That's the if you want that come and go formula, then yeah, make a song that's
Hello,
catchy. It was good, bro. Then
hello.
make a song that's catchy. Put a crazy video to it. Watch it blow up. That's what's gonna happen. But if you want something that you want to establish long term, um, go that route. Go the organic route. Like build your base organically. I'm pretty sure that's what like Tech Nine did. He didn't do any crazy or all these guys. They link up with each other. Artists link up with producers. Producers link up with artists. They create a bond, small bond with each other, and they just post good music and they hit up their fans, their supporters, and it grows. Like Metro Boom in the
Hmm.
future. That's a connection that was organic based in Atlanta. People in Atlanta liked it. Then they hit the strip clubs. The strip clubs promoted the record. Then the DJs promoted the record on the radio. It's just small connections and it builds up over time. Now you see Drake or Future all the time and all the stuff working with Metro. And even Drake for that matter, he didn't just, sort of privilege with Degrassi and all that stuff. He had some guys, a small circle of guys like 40 and Oliver and like,
Hmm.
and Big Boy Wonder and all those guys up in Canada. He was just vibing with, making music with back in the day. And they just kept going. And once they were making power moves, they stuck together. And now look at them. They're like top of the world right now. Like all the guys you think about, like Kendrick, we probably don't know their
Sure.
background staff, but they've known each other for years. And they've just grown together and they've networked with people and they've seen the more fans that come, the more they respond to the
Hmm.
fan demand. And that's what it is. I mean, for us who are smaller fries in the game, what you can do to make yourself a bigger person is be more personable with the people who listen to you, and so that they are more inclined to share your work. And
Right.
you just trust the process. You never know who's going to listen. And whenever somebody hits you up who's new, that's a new opportunity. Just talk to them and see what's up. You can expand your base that way. Like I talk to everybody. I talk to hip hop heads. I talk to people like country. I talk to people who like hard rock, opera, people who like Justin Bieber,
Thank
people
you
who
for
like
saying
One
this right
Direction,
here. Thank you so much because so
because
many people
you never know.
think you can only talk to people who listen to the same or similar music
No,
that you make.
Exactly,
No, you
exactly.
need to go outside of your circle. How can
yeah,
you expect to grow your base if you don't step outside of your circle?
like
Yeah.
Like the
for
thoughts don't make sense. A lot of people they just want to be around in a particular area. Can you talk more on that?
yeah. So like I'm in a producer community that I'm part of, and those are all the homies. But I can't just talk to the homies every single day and expect myself to not move. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Exactly.
guys have to,
Exactly.
and that's to the guys. Like they're my brothers. Like you guys and sisters. Like you guys have to talk to people around in your area. Talk to people who hit you up on SoundCloud and YouTube who you don't really know, and say what's up with them. You could bring them in the community, you probably won't, or whatever, but you got to talk to people who are outside of your circle and convince them, hey, I got something cool going on. Tell your friends, something like that. Don't do it outwardly. It's by your acts and how you are as a person that people will vibe with you. And if people can vibe with you and you look cool and they look cool vibing with you, they will share your work. That's how I went from like several hundred YouTube subscribers to about like 7,000 in about 5-6 months, because a dude who was listening to my beats was like, "Yo, on forums all the time sharing your work. I really appreciate your work." And all I said was, "Yo, that's great, bro. You have music, I'll share it. I'll listen to it myself. I'll check your work out." And he's like, "Oh man, that's cool." He's like a homie. So he always put my work out in these forums back in like 2011, 2012. Then I got like 7,000 subscribers off rip, just off of his generosity and off of his posting promoting for me when he didn't have to do it. He wanted to do it because he thought I was a cool dude, like talking to the person. And that's somebody I had never met in my life, like ever, until like
Yeah.
recently. So you have to meet with people outside of your circle, outside of your preferences, outside of your style of, artistry. Like I talk with everybody. If they're interested in my beats, it doesn't matter. Like I'll talk with everyone. And then it's like, yeah, I make beats, by the way. And they'll be like, oh, I'll check it out. Cool. So,
Hmm.
and that's how it is. Like you hear about these rappers hanging out with fashion designers and random people, like who, and like chefs and all sorts of people. Like, what are you doing? Like, all those guys are influencers in different aspects. That's expanding your market. Like, look at Action
Yes.
Bronson. He's a chef. He became a rapper. He still hits his chef homies to promote his work. Or he goes to travel. He goes travels around in his show, and he's just hitting up random people like brewery owners and chefs and all different executives, producers, fashion people, people who are in the cars. Like you just hit up anybody. That's a market. Like if they know you, they're gonna listen to you. Like I know everybody. I pretty much will know everyone who's in the hip hop, who does rock, who does R&B, jazz musicians. I know teachers. I know professors. I know Also, I know chefs. I know people who are in the audio mechanics, and I'll share their music, and they'll share my music, and I'll share their crafts around and give people the word about it. I talk to artists, like visual artists and painters and all that stuff. All different people I can meet. That's people who can vibe with you, and that's how you expand your base. Because not everybody's an artist, not everybody's a producer, or not everybody's a um, vocalist. Like the majority of the world does other stuff. So you
Hmm.
gotta vibe with other people and share your gift. So that makes sense. So, yeah.
Indeed,
I
indeed.
gotta
Nice,
head out real
nice.
soon. So if you guys have any quick questions, I don't know, shoot them at me.
Yeah.
But I gotta get
I
going.
believe MMA had one more question to hit you with
Mhm.
really quickly.
Yeah.
DJ MMA.
Is he alive? Is he in there?
My headphones came out my head. My bad. All right. Nah. I said I was good with my questions. I heard all I had to. The whole interview and everything was very interesting. And
Mhm.
I like where this one went. We got a lot of things covered up.
Yeah.
So I'm all cleared out, man. I'm good.
Cool. So what I can part with. So what I can part with you guys is that one, hone your craft. Always improving your craft. Always trying to make it crispier. If you're a producer, go on YouTube, check the tutorials out for mixing and mastering, because it's really nowadays, it's not just about the sound, but it's about how crisp the sound is that will get people's attention. That's the way you get attention if you're a producer. It's about how your sound is actually sounding, if that makes sense. If whether you're a producer, a singer, an artist, be more personable with the people who support you. Um, Talk to them more, get to know them. It's even like small stuff, you don't have to like invest all the time doing that, but just be like, if somebody hits you up, be like, yo, thanks, man. You can share it around. I appreciate you listening to my beat. Or if you just notice patterns people do, they'll be like, yo, you've been supporting for a minute, I really appreciate it. Something like that will validate their whole reason for supporting your music, and they're gonna share with other people. They'll be like, yo, he's cool or she's cool. So do that. Be more personable and be relevant. Like know what the wave is. Sometimes you gotta cater to it to stay relevant, but do that without compromising your style or selling out. You can do that. So those are like the three tips I'll give you guys. Hone your craft. Be personable with the people who contact you, who directly get to you, because that's your market. And and shoot, already forgot the third one that I said, which is important. So yeah, that's like the three ones I'd say.
It's cool. They'll
Uh,
rewind it back after we done something
Yeah,
now. They'll hear it.
you
They'll hear
know.
that, Jay.
Indeed,
Yeah. Oh
indeed.
yeah, stay
Well,
relevant.
shoot.
That's what I meant. Yeah, stay
Yeah,
There
relevant.
we
yeah, yeah.
go.
Stay relevant.
Stay
Yeah.
relevant. It's important. You can't be like out the loop. People won't look at you if you're out the loop. It's just the way it is. I hate that, but that's the way it is, man.
Mhm.
Man. And if it involves paying bread, I mean, sometimes you got to do it. But if you want to get away with that, not having to pay much money, all about connections.
Mhm.
That's it's all about connections. So, and the only way you can connect is by actually making a personal presence somehow, either with a message or by in person, like in person. Yeah. And if you're an artist, a producer, if you're an artist and you know a good producer, um, try and like establish a relationship with each other and find a chemistry where you can make good music together, and then from there you can figure out the marketing, and you might move like Mob Deep and Alchemist. Mob Deep wasn't even out there like that before, Alchemist popped up and helped them with the beats and stuff like that. It was like with Shook Ones. Everybody knows that. But then Alchemist
Mm,
came through. He was like, I know some people. And that was booming. Like Future and Metro booming. You always know, like, if you figure out artists, um, a lot of artists, they have tandems. Like Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre. Like, it's always a tandem with producers. They're always tagged with the artist.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I hope all this was helpful. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was because
Yeah, it was, man.
it's a lot of people. They hear different pieces of advice from one person, the other person. And sometimes it helps just to hear it from the dude that you follow, the dude that you know, the dude that you love, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this right here is going to do a lot to really say, especially the fact that you gave them those three main points of. Can you
Mm-hmm.
repeat it for them again so that they
Yeah.
can get it one
Hone
last
on your
time?
skills and your craft. You want to be as professional as possible when sounding. You want to put your best work out forward. That's the number one. The second one, um, be personable with everybody that you that connects with you. Don't just see comment and scroll through it and be like, all right, I'm the man. Because you're not really the man if you don't. And you're not really the man unless, you legitimately are out there on TV, on billboards, and stuff like that. Then you can call yourself the man. And it might be tough for you to be more personable. But when you're at it, set up your day one people and be more personable with the people who contact you. So that's number two. And number three, don't just do whatever you want. You have to play the game. Like you have to be relevant. You have to see what the trends are. See how you can get to being trendy. From there, then you have to be creative. You're all creative, so that's an easy thing. Figuring out something that might catch, um, and realize that the cooler you are, like the more popular you are, the easier it is to make something trendy. So, but in order to do that, you have to stay relevant and you have to be personable with the people you with. So, three things: hone your skills, be as professional as possible, professional content. Two, you have to talk with the people who hit you up, and three, stay relevant, know the trends. At the same time, don't compromise yourself. That's the three stuff. That's what I go by every day, every single day. That's how I do.
Bam.
Yeah.
Heard it right here, folks. straight from the mouth of the Raisin Man himself.
Yeah,
Man has made moves. Man has been on the grind for years now, working on the craft, growing it.
yeah. So
Raisi K, I would like to say thank you, my brother, man. You took doggone an hour and a half out of your time to sit here with my goofy ass and MMA's goofy ass and work through all these bugs and issues
it's
and
all
to
love,
get
yo.
these
I hope
questions done.
I hope everybody vibed with this. I hope everybody got something they could take home with. So that's all that matters for me.
All right.
Yeah,
So, all right, folks, if y'all like it, make sure y'all press that like button, man. Make sure
yeah,
y'all share it, share the love. People that need some tips, tag them in it, make sure y'all are going out, checking
yeah.
out Rise
And
K's
of
work.
course, I'm gonna do the most cliche thing ever. Follow me on Twitter, real deal Raisi _K on Instagram at the the Raisin Man. Tell your friends and family. You heard it from me. I love you guys.
Word. And in that case, we're going to sign off. This has been your man, West Colonel, right here. MMA was with us, but he dropped out.
Condolences to the homie.
For
Alrighty.
real, for real. And hopefully next time, if you guys have maybe some things, some questions, maybe y'all can send it to Risey. Maybe y'all can send it to myself.
Yeah.
And
We could do an
maybe
ask
we can.
Raisi K or ask whatever. We could do that sometime. Just gotta find
All
a good time
right.
for that. Yeah.
Get on with this again. All right, y'all. This has been great. And everyone, have a great night.
All right. Take care, y'all.